Fame rarely arrives gently, and for Julie Andrews, it came like a tidal wave that reshaped her inner world long before she fully understood its power. When global recognition arrived early in her life, it brought admiration, opportunity, and pressure in equal measure. She has spoken openly about how sudden success pushed her toward therapy and deep self-reflection, not because she rejected fame, but because she needed to understand how to live inside it without losing herself. To audiences, she seemed effortlessly joyful, a symbol of warmth and musical perfection. Yet privately, she grappled with expectations that felt immense and unrelenting. Applause followed her everywhere, but quiet moments became rare and precious. Rather than being swept away, Julie chose introspection, learning how to protect her sense of identity beneath public praise. This early confrontation with fame shaped her lifelong approach to success, teaching her that emotional balance mattered as much as professional triumph, and that self-awareness was essential for survival in the spotlight. A childhood shaped by music and discipline. Julie Andrews, born Julia Elizabeth Wells in England in 1935, grew up surrounded by music, discipline, and creative ambition. Her mother was a gifted pianist whose own dreams had been set aside, while her stepfather, a seasoned performer, recognized Julie's extraordinary vocal potential early on. Training began young and was rigorous, demanding focus and maturity beyond her years. Under the guidance of respected vocal teachers, Julie learned not only technique, but endurance and humility. Cold practice rooms, long rehearsals, and constant refinement became normal parts of childhood. Yet alongside discipline came wonder, as stories of great performers and shared moments of music filled her imagination. By her early teens, she was performing professionally, earning praise that few children ever experience. These formative years created a foundation of professionalism and resilience, teaching her that talent alone was never enough. Commitment, respect for craft, and emotional control became habits that would carry her through decades of change. Broadway and the weight of expectation. Julie's transition to Broadway marked a defining turning point, bringing both exhilaration and responsibility. At 19, she captivated audiences with her clarity, warmth, and natural stage presence, quickly becoming a standout performer. Her role in My Fair Lady transformed her into a theatrical phenomenon, with nightly performances demanding emotional precision and physical stamina. The acclaim was overwhelming, yet Julie remained grounded in routine and discipline, understanding that consistency mattered more than applause. Behind the curtain, pressure mounted as expectations grew higher with each success. She learned to manage nerves, fatigue, and the constant scrutiny that came with critical praise. Broadway taught her how fragile success could be and how quickly admiration could turn into demand. Rather than chasing validation, she focused on the work itself, trusting preparation over confidence. This mindset prepared her for the next phase of her career, where visibility would increase dramatically and the margin for error would feel even smaller. Hollywood breakthrough and global recognition. Julie Andrews' move into film transformed her from a stage sensation into a global icon almost overnight. When she appeared as Mary Poppins, audiences embraced her instantly, drawn to her sincerity, humor, and emotional clarity. The film's success was monumental, and the recognition that followed placed her firmly at the center of popular culture. Winning an Academy Award validated her transition to cinema, yet the moment carried complex emotions, especially after earlier professional disappointments. Hollywood celebrated her image of grace and optimism, sometimes overlooking the discipline and emotional labor behind it. While the world saw perfection, Julie remained aware of the pressure to maintain that image. She approached film with the same seriousness she had given the stage, treating success as responsibility rather than entitlement. This balance allowed her to navigate sudden fame without becoming consumed by it, though the intensity of global attention continued to demand emotional resilience and careful self-preservation. triumph, and physical demands of iconic roles. Following Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews reached extraordinary heights with The Sound of Music, a film that became deeply embedded in global culture. Her portrayal of Maria resonated because it blended warmth, strength, and sincerity, qualities that felt genuine rather than performed. Behind the scenes, however, the experience required physical endurance and emotional focus. Long shoots, challenging conditions, and repeated takes tested her stamina, yet she met each demand with professionalism and humor. The film's success elevated her to a level of recognition few performers experience, creating an image that felt almost untouchable. Yet Julie understood that success was not permanent, and she resisted becoming defined by a single role. Instead, she viewed each project as part of a larger journey, remaining curious and adaptable. These peak years demonstrated not only her talent, but her capacity to carry immense responsibility with grace, reinforcing her belief that longevity required both adaptability and inner steadiness. Reinvention, risk, and career shifts. As Hollywood tastes shifted, Julie Andrews faced the challenge of reinvention, discovering that even immense success offered no guarantees. Some ambitious projects failed to meet expectations, and critical reception became more unpredictable. Rather than retreat, Julie chose to experiment, exploring television, variety performance, and intimate live shows that revealed new sides of her artistry. These choices required courage, as they challenged the carefully crafted image audiences associated with her. She embraced vulnerability, allowing herself to be seen as multifaceted rather than flawless. Awards and praise continued, but commercial success varied, reminding her that fulfillment could not rely solely on external validation. Reinvention taught her flexibility and self-trust, reinforcing that growth often comes through risk rather than repetition. By choosing authenticity over comfort, Julie maintained creative vitality even when industry momentum slowed, proving that adaptation, not nostalgia, was the key to artistic survival. Love, family, and private resilience. Away from the stage and screen, Julie Andrews' life unfolded with the same complexity as any other, shaped by love, family, and emotional responsibility. Her relationships brought both joy and difficult choices, especially as career demands competed with personal needs. Later, her marriage to filmmaker Blake Edwards became a partnership grounded in humor, respect, and shared creativity. Together, they built a blended family and navigated the pressures of public life with mutual support. Julie has spoken with honesty about the effort required to balance ambition with presence, acknowledging that success often comes with personal compromise. Caring for loved ones, especially during times of illness and loss, deepened her understanding of devotion and patience. These private experiences strengthened her emotional depth, allowing her to approach later life with empathy and perspective. Family became a source of grounding, reminding her that fulfillment ultimately comes from connection rather than applause. The loss of her singing voice. One of the most profound challenges Julie Andrews faced came with the unexpected loss of her singing voice following a medical procedure in the late 1990s. For someone whose identity was so closely tied to vocal expression, the impact was deeply emotional. Singing had been both her profession and her personal language, and its absence required mourning and adjustment. Rather than withdrawing, Julie chose acceptance and reinvention, acknowledging grief without allowing it to define her future. She shifted focus toward writing, narration, and mentorship, finding new ways to express creativity and remain connected to audiences. The loss reshaped her understanding of purpose, teaching her that identity is larger than any single ability. Though the change was painful, it reinforced her resilience and adaptability, proving that creativity does not vanish with limitation. Instead, it evolves, finding new forms when old ones are no longer possible. Legacy of grace, courage, and evolution. Now in her late 80s, Julie Andrews represents more than iconic performances. She embodies resilience, adaptability, and emotional honesty. Her life reflects the reality behind celebrated success, showing that even the most admired figures face doubt, reinvention, and loss. Through early discipline, overwhelming fame, career shifts, personal challenges, and profound change, she remained committed to growth and integrity. Her legacy is not confined to songs or films, but lives in her example of navigating change with grace. She teaches that artistry is not static, and that fulfillment comes from curiosity, courage, and compassion. Julie Andrews' story reminds us that a life well lived is not defined by perfection, but by the willingness to adapt and continue creating meaning. Her voice may have changed, but her influence remains powerful, offering inspiration rooted in authenticity, endurance, and the quiet strength of a life fully embraced.